Mark. I'm the producer for Rusty Hearts Perfect World Entertainment. I'm going to show you Rusty Hearts right now. Rusty Hearts is, at its core, it's a dungeon-crawling hack-and-slash MMORPG. That means you can get in with a party of friends, party of up to 4 people, crawl through the dungeons, collect a bunch of loot, fight against some epic bosses, level up your characters, learn skills, all this different great stuff with a heavy, heavy emphasis on action. So there's no grind. You're never mindlessly grinding through the game. You're always on a quest, whether it's collection, story, anything like that. You're always doing something, leveling up your character. It's a great game, all about the action, and we'll jump right in and I'll show you some.
All right, great.
First thing I want to say is that even though Rusty Hearts is a PC game, it has been optimized for use with any PC gamepad. So we have an Xbox 360 controller here. If you have a Logitech controller, any controller you have, plug right in, you can use it. The default controls are with the keyboard. And with that, it's not your standard keyboard and mouse WASD setup. Definitely built for speed, built for action. So you actually control your character with the arrow keys, and all your attacks and your skills are done with the left hand because you have greater access to more keys with your left hand. So it's definitely built for that. If you're not comfortable with that, all the keys are fully mappable. There's 2 sets, so you can switch back and forth between 2 sets. You can set it up however you like. That's one of the things about customization in the game, which is actually my favorite element of the game, is the customization. So there's the keyboard gameplay customization and the characters too. This isn't your traditional MMORPG where you build a character and you kind of grow them from the ground up. You choose one. At launch we'll have 3 characters, and they all have their own backstory, their own kind of lore they follow, their own way they go through the game, their own skill sets. There's also not classes, but each of the characters brings something different to the table. For example, the girl right here, Angela, she's like an apprentice witch in the game. She's more of like a tank character. She's a little slower. She has a huge weapon that deals a ton of damage. She also has heal spells, and she's the only one that has any sort of ranged attacks. Another character named Tude, he's built for speed, right? Close quarters CQC combat. He has this big claw that he uses where he gets all his power from. So he doesn't do as much damage per her, but he does it much faster. Third character is sort of a combination between the 2 of them. So players are really open to try different play styles too, and they can choose any character they want. They're not tied to it. They can jump in and out between characters and different storylines. So they can do it however they want. So one more thing about customization, we have the character Angela right here. I want to show you a few different like visual customization options. We open up the inventory and the loadout screen. So you have all your equipment. All your equipment here is what goes to the attributes of your character, right? So some are better against like physical damage, holy damage, water, anything like that. Pretty basic gear stuff, and there's gear head to toe. But the costumes are different. They would change the visual look of your character, and they get pretty funky. We have a cool costume right here, but we have the insect set. So you just equip that, it turns Angela into this roach. So it's pretty sweet. Each character, each of the 3 characters has their own insect. There's also what I call like the seafood set. I think that's the official name for it, but that's what I call it. Where there's a shark, there's an octopus, and some other stuff. These are full body sets. They're also items, like individual items. So a hat, hair color, shirt, socks, even your underwear. You can customize all of that. As you're progressing through the game, you're constantly collecting new gear, new items, new costumes. So you're never going to be bored on what you're gonna see on your character. So let's get right into some action, which is the core of the game, right? This is the hub world, which we're in right here. This is where you're going to go. I'm going to change her out to the other one real quick so you get a better view. The hub world is where you get your quest, you complete your quest, talk to your NPCs, forge your items, progress the story, everything like that. But we want to go to a dungeon, which is where the action takes place. So you go into whichever world you're in, you go into the dungeon, according to your quest or whatever you want to do. You select your individual one, difficulty will go hard, and then you jump right in. I'm going to need 2 hands for this, though.
Okay.
Alright. Good. Now I'm going to use the controller. It's a little more comfortable for me. Some people, especially the hardcore players, are going to love the keyboard. Right? Totally up to you. It doesn't offer any competitive advantage either way. And we'll jump right in. So as soon as you start moving, you start getting attacked by these monsters. These are the skeleton soldiers. Each world has their own like unique set of monsters and of enemies. And as you can see, it's all about skills and it's all about combos. So, there we go. Perfect. So it's about grouping your skills, your shots together. If you look down here, you will see all your skills, which is A through H on the keyboard and the shoulder buttons on the controller. And each character has 2 different sets of them, so you can equip up to 6 skills. You can learn a lot, like, multiple skills, but you can equip up to 12 at a time. Loot, right? All the characters drop some loot, which is one of my other favorite things about it. You're always getting, you're collecting gold, collecting new gear, items, there are recipes for things. There's an NPC that cooks you different types of food that give you, HP, MP buffs, all that type of stuff.
Could you talk a little bit about the crafting system?
Definitely. So there's certain NPCs that you go to in the game that help you craft items, and they're quest-based, so they'll tell you what you need to get, and they'll tell you where to get it. So, for example, you need to collect 10 fish scales. There's like a fish enemy, so you go and collect 10 of those, bring it back to that NPC, and he or she will craft the item for you. Mostly, normally it's like relevant to the area. So like a fish scale item would be good against the water-based enemies. There's also another NPC you can go to that'll forge your weapons specifically. So he'll give your weapon buffs. He'll make it stronger. There are different weapons in the game, and once your character gets to a certain point, you can kind of decide whether you want to stick with your weapon. For example, her main one is a sword, which she has this pretty sick scythe right here, which gets even better as you level up. So you can decide whether you want to stay with your normal sword and keep leveling that up, or progress onto the scythe. Totally up to you.
Now tell us about the elements of this game that will appeal to casual versus hardcore gamers.
Right, good question. So this game is very well balanced between the casual and the hardcore. First of all, just having the controller alone speaks to the casual. It's probably going to be good for the casual audience. It's also super easy to just hop into a party with your friends. So it's meant to be a very social experience, right? So we streamline the process of partying up, finding your friends, getting in a guild, so people can easily jump into the game, jump into a dungeon, and start fighting right away. There's different difficulty modes, everything from there's normal, hard, very hard. You unlock the harder ones by beating the previous ones. And there's one like extremely hard mode called Blood Mode, which has some other prerequisites that you need to meet before you access that. But just to hop in, if you just want to get in and play with some friends, very easy to do. Not a huge client download. You definitely don't need like the most up-to-date computer in the world. So it's very easily accessible to anyone who wants to play it. Hardcore gamers, they're gonna love the skills. They're gonna love, learning, teaching their character all the different skills, getting the rare costumes, the rare items, and being able to use. I imagine they're going to want to use the keyboard as efficiently as possible. And being able how to learn to do that is really going to be what the hardcore audience is into.
And could you speak a moment on when you expect the release to happen? Maybe in what quarter?
Right. The closed beta is right now scheduled for July 2011. Based on how that goes, we're going to decide on an open beta release after that. So we don't have a date for the open beta, but closed beta is scheduled to begin in July. Anyone can go to rustyhearts.perfectworld.com and sign up for an account. They'll get an alert when the closed beta is live, and if they have a beta key, they can jump right in.
Great. Is there anything else that you would like to show us, or any unique characteristic of the game?
Definitely. I'm about to get to it right now, and it's the boss. Each dungeon has their own boss. Unique to that area. So we're going to go into it really quick. Let me beat these guys. And this dungeon that we are in right now is pretty straightforward, just start to finish. As you progress through the game, there's going to be a lot more maze elements, a lot more puzzle elements to the dungeons. Certain routes you can take, you can get lost. Sometimes you can only go through gates a certain number of times, all that type of stuff. So it gets much more challenging. This is the boss of this dungeon right here, big guy, pretty strong. I think we can take care of them. They'll have their minions. that you can fight. And of course the bosses, once you beat them, tons of EXP. I beat him pretty easily, he's a pretty juice character. But so, if you can see up here, there's these loot cards. And these are one of the best things that you can pick up throughout the game because there's a little mini game at the end of each dungeon that we're about to see. We get graded. Your grade is based on your style points, which is how effective you use your skills and how many combinations you racked up, and your hit count. So low hit count and high number of style points equals a good grade. So those loot cards that you find in the dungeon are right here. All of these give you something, a small amount of gold or something like that, but these loot cards give you some good gear. Bronze is good, silver is better, gold is best. Somewhere in here there's 4 bronze ones. You can pick. I didn't get a bronze. If I want to, I can try and select it again, spend 500 gold, try again, and I didn't get a bronze one, but it shows you where it all is. The great thing about that is that if you're in a party of, say, 2, 3, or 4 people, everybody sees the same deck. So everybody's trying to get the good one, and you can see what your friend flipped over, and if he got the good one, he gets it, and you don't. So it's pretty cool. At the end of each dungeon, go around, collect all the loot. You can hit the dungeon store. Anything that you maybe picked up that you want to sell off, you can just drag it right into the store, get some gold for it. You can repair all your gear, all that kind of normal stuff. You can go, if you have quests to complete, you can go back to the town. You can explore the dungeon again if you have some unfinished business. And that's pretty much the main focus of Rusty Hearts.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate your time, and looking forward to seeing this release and being a part of the beta.
Very nice. I can't wait.
Thank you so much.